It's time for a vacation, and Fairway Travels is here to share great specials for you to choose from. Discover the charm and features of one of Sandals' 16 all-inclusive, luxury-included, adults-only resorts, or a family-friendly beaches destination in the Caribbean. Or how about a couples resort in Jamaica? If cruising's your preference, get Thunderstroke aboard Carnival Cruise Lines or set sail on an award-winning Royal Caribbean ship. Join Virgin Voyages now for a wonderful adults-only sailing. It doesn't matter if you choose to travel by plane, train, automobile, cruise ship, or rowboat, we can help you reach your dream destination. Contact Fairway Travels today at 228-365-1012. That's 228-365-1012. Or email bookitnow247@gmail.com. Fairway Travels, where your journeys keep satisfying.
This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at MBRadio.us.
Hello, friends. I'm Kent Skelton, and I'm so glad you are here. Together we can battle this struggle and find freedom from it all. Life is continuous, and it would be ridiculous to say that you or I don't experience those seconds, minutes, hours, or days that seem like they'll never end. Time continues on, regardless of how we feel or what we experience. We search, longingly for a way to handle and navigate through these situations we are experiencing. There has to be.
Hello, everybody. Happy birthday, MBR. Happy birthday, Military Broadcast Radio.
That's
Happy
right.
birthday, MBR.
And happy Armed Forces Day.
Yes. Yes.
Definitely.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Aim high, baby.
Aim high.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Hey, so we got different services recognized right here today. I'm Air Force. I know we got another Air Force. Who else we got?
Army.
Army.
Hoorah. All right.
Okay, all right. Hey, so anyway, we got Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force, Space Command. We've got everybody, involved, either they're podcast hosts or listeners here on Military Broadcast Radio. And better than all else, we've even got the silly billions from all around the country and the citizens, our other patriots, the one that helps support the military. And we're all in this fight together, and we all know that. Freedom from Struggle, as you know, it's a show we normally air at o'clock on Saturdays, and it's for anyone with any type of hurt, habit, or hang up. Today, we're talking about, the title was A Mic as a Med. Excuse me? What are you talking about there? Well, a mic and a med. We got an online therapeutic prescription. And I see that in the way of Military Broadcast Radio, acting as a host, as my fellow host here of various shows on Military Broadcast Radio. We have, I believe, over 30 shows. And so this is just a small group of the hosts, but nevertheless, we are hosts on the MBR, and it's therapeutic for me. I can attest to that, and I believe and I hope it's therapeutic for other hosts as it is for our listeners. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of want to just talk about that today. You know, I've got the Freedom from Struggle show, and we're here today, but we have Tracer to my left, and Tracer, what do you think? I mean, what do you, I'm trying to make sure I look the right direction. Tracer, but you have a show on Military Broadcast Radio. You also serve as one of our officers. Can you share a little bit about yourself?
I'm a 33 and a half year Army Reserve veteran, and I just retired in December. And Military Broadcast Radio has been a godsend for me because I already missed the military connection, and this is my conduit to reach that audience again or feel that sense of community again. And it's really helped me to vocalize what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling versus just bottling it up. And it gives my guests and the organizations that I have on my show an opportunity to really speak their truth and really get their message out there. So I feel like it not only helps me, but it helps the people that we're serving and out in the audience, and then helps our guests to really, gravitate towards putting their message out in the veteran community and to really help themselves at the same time.
That's awesome, Tracer. Thank you for sharing that with us. And Jose, with the Motivated Mindset, I know you got a show that's coming up, and you're going to announce that, and hopefully people will continue and stay on and watch your show immediately following Freedom from Struggle. But go ahead, Jose, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you think of Military Broadcast Radio.
Yeah, ¿qué pasa? To my Latino family out there, what's up? Yeah. So I first of all, I want to thank my brothers and sisters here. They've been a lifeline for me. And my podcast is about the motivated mindset, why people do what they do, the why in a nutshell. So it's been a lifeline for me. I served 30 years in the Army, and for those of us who serve, when you first get out, sometimes I know what it feels to be unheard, unseen and so on. And when I wanted to do a podcast, I wasn't sure how to do it. But when I found Military Broadcast Radio, it felt good. For listeners, I would tell you that it provides an authentic, raw, real thing. And the thing, having that it's live is so cool beans, because you can ask questions and so on, and people can answer. And, for podcasters, why should they join? Because, hey, it's you're not just broadcasting. What you're doing is you're building bridges. You're lifting spirits. You have a communicator. Pero un momento. I mean, my Spanish gets it. Community. You like that? How you doing?
Community.
It's my other self. So MBR has been so awesome for me, and I really appreciate it. And like Red said, right after this, I have another show which deals with domestic violence, and I have somebody. So yeah, but bottom line up front, MBR has been a lifesaver. I've enjoyed it, and I've learned a lot. So that's how I look at it. Yes, sir.
Man, Jose, I really appreciate that, and I'm glad you come back on here with us and getting back in the normal routine of things. Yes, and really happy that you're there. Eva Fulton, she's my co-host normally on the show here at Freedom from Struggle, and I'm always thankful for Eva. But what have you got going on? What's Military Broadcast Radio to you?
It's a lot. I mean, it's another avenue of sharing my voice. It took me a long time to find my voice as a veteran. Just understanding that as a female, that my voice counted too. My representation counted too. It took me a long time to understand that I could put that hat on. So I enjoy sharing my journey from pain to purpose. Yesterday, Jose and I were out in DC recruiting other veterans and other organizations to either become hosts and finding their voice. Some were hesitant, believe that there was the myth of I've got to have all this equipment before I get started. And I told him, no, you could get started with your phone. You know, it's just as simple as that. So don't be a naysayer and think that I have to have, you know, the whole kit and caboodle to do it, because we're going to help you every step of the way. So, you know, it's not just my voice, but helping other people find their voices was a big, huge deal.
Right. Hey, I see a lot of great comments coming in. I saw one from Zia. He just got back in the country from abroad and threw us all. He threw somebody back a salute. And hey, appreciate it, Zia. And well, thank you.
And my show is on after Jose's.
And your show.
So stay tuned.
And Amber's is on after that. We have a great lineup tonight. Like we have all-day programming. We're on it today, boys.
We just had Trucker's Mouth played a little bit early, like an hour prior to this show. Mm-hmm. And then we got Jose, then Eva. And then what did you say? Amber follows that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. Hey, happy birthday, Military Broadcast Radio.
That's right.
Hey,
representing.
Hey, and speaking of that, real quick, H Train, people know that HR nightmare that appears on Military Broadcast Radio so often. We love him to death. He's a lot of our mentor. He got us started with this. He's taught us, and hopefully we're showing him that we've learned a little bit. Okay. And us too, we are crazy about Military Broadcast Radio. And happy birthday to MBR. But H, we give, man, a lot of thanks to you, brother. A lot of thanks to you. And we're sorry that you're not feeling as well today as normal. Y'all think I sound bad? I listened to H on a phone call a little earlier. He's in worse shape than I am, and he feels bad. At least
y'all need to stop kissing each other, man.
At least I'm not feeling bad.
There he is.
Yeah, these long distance kisses, you know. I mean, hey, look, hey, fellow host.
TMI.
So, no mono here, just struggling with the crud.
There he goes.
And H Train has another person. He's seeing him in the picture right there, or her in the picture with him, and she's that extra support right behind him. Is that right, host? I believe she is. She is. I know she is, because she puts up with H to put up with us. So that's a beautiful thing.
I love Tony's comment down there, if you see that.
What's that, Tony? Joel, HR deserves so much credit and appreciation. I know he cares so much about us and our success, but he is the foundation that helps a lot of us succeed. Yeah. No doubt about it. He deserves all the love. Thanks for that comment, Tony. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. No doubt about it. And a big thanks also to the folks that are out there in podcast land and that actually get to listen to us and kind of put up with us and hear the different shows. And we're on all kinds of different avenues. Let me just name a few. We're on YouTube, numerous YouTube channels we go out to, but Military Broadcast Radio on YouTube. We're on Twitter, or what was formerly known as Twitter, X.
Yeah, X and Twitch.
We're on X. We're on Twitch. We're on Facebook. Where else?
Roku, Amazon Fire,
Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. MJ, where else we at? Anywhere?
TikTok.
You're on my phone, man. You're on my phone.
I'm on my phone, man.
We have an app for that.
We're on Roku.
We do have an app for that. We are on the app too. Yeah,
and we're on
live on the app.
And we're on Roku, so that's cool
stuff. So I just said on the phone.
Yeah, on the phone, man. I'm on the phone. I'm on your iPad. I am on your. We are in between your ears, and we thank you for letting us tickle you between your ears. You know, on our show and grace you with some of the faces. I apologize for some of them, like this one, but look, we are here and we love it. We enjoy it. Look, let's hear a word from our sponsors real quick and a quick tune, if y'all don't mind. And this is one of my favorite songs right here.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Front line, Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. Oh. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. He's Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down here to lie. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
Join Military Broadcast Radio and Fairway Travel for the 2025 Veterans Day Cruise aboard Carnival Vista. We will embark on a 6-day Eastern Caribbean cruise November 9th through 15th from Port Canaveral. Are you ready to relax, explore, celebrate? This is a voyage you don't want to miss. Destinations include Amber Cove, Half Moon Cay, and the all-new Celebration Key. Delight in the Dominican Republic's Amber Cove with stunning beaches and island vibes. Enjoy Half Moon Cay, known as a private Bahamian paradise. And finally, a day at Celebration Key, Carnival Cruise Line's exclusive new getaway. Honor the heroes in your life with an unforgettable cruise experience this Veterans Day at Sea. Fairway Travel will handle all the planning so you can focus on making memories. Call Fairway today, 228-365-3480, or email fonda@fairwaytravel.com or red@mbradio.us.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at MBRadio.us.
That's a fact. We are going to be going on a Veterans Day cruise. I'm looking forward to it. We got quite a few hosts that are already on there. We have some just patriotic folks that that appreciate the military that have agreed to join us on the cruise. And then there's going to be tons of other people. We still have room, though. Make sure you contact us and contact your favorite host. Tell them, say, hey, I want to go on that cruise with you. How can I go on that cruise? And you will be there with us also. And it always gives a little bit back and helps support that particular host that you're following, and more than anything, it helps support military broadcast radio. Eva, not Eva. I'm sorry, Eva. I've already talked to you, Eva. Amber, what's going on? So you got a show coming on too, right?
Yes, sir. I have today's show is actually about the death of a young black man in Potsdam, New York, who passed away that is suspicious. And so we spoke to his mother, interviewed her, and just got her take on the whole situation. So, but yes, I usually talk about like true crime or talk about talk to interesting people or the paranormal or prison reform.
Right. Lots of good stuff. And hey, and how have you found military broadcast radio? Has it been are you using a mic as a med? Has it been therapeutic in any way for you?
Oh, yeah.
Your followers?
Yeah, it's for me, definitely it has been. Most of you guys know I was in bed for 6.5 years with debilitating migraines, and I had just come out of that when I found MBR. And so this has been a way to jumpstart my life again, get me back into the world, and get me using my brain again. 6.5 years of hiatus, of actually like forming my own thoughts and opinions. It was a lot, to go from that to now just coming on here and realizing that that I can think again, and I can use my mind again where I thought, that I wasn't going to be able to for a long time. So it has been a huge blessing to me. And one of my issues is PTSD, and for some reason it happens when I drive. And for the first time in like almost 10 years, I drove 22 miles by myself. And that is a huge accomplishment for me. So I am just thankful for MBR for that.
Well, hey, thank you, Amber. And I know what you're saying. I've been through some of those things. Thankfully, I wasn't confined to a bed, and stuff like that. But I have suffered from the migraines and, numerous other things. So I'm going to share a little bit in a few minutes. MJ.
Yes, sir.
I'm so happy you're here with us today.
All in my hippie form today. You caught me off guard.
Bring it on, hipster. One of the most hip of the bunch.
Wow, you're blessed.
MJ, share with us, please.
I will share. I do a show called A Conscious Positive. It's a flip on egos and judgments that has been corrupted by man for countless times of reality, and it's time of an awareness for the world to come into a positive. So basically what that means is we flip every single negative situation that we encounter, and we make it a positive one as a life learning lesson to gain that much more relativity to Father, Mother, God. That's what I do.
All right, MJ. And I know, and I've listened a lot of times, and you come up with some really great topics, on the show. I know that. What time does it normally air again?
Mondays at 9 a.m. to 11. And I invite anybody who has any type of trauma line, including TBIs or PTSD. That way, I use a lot of my stories in encouraging people just to open up and not to be judged. So I started working with PTSD vets when I was doing in Miami as a spiritual counselor to try to dive into a realm that the psychologists who would hand them to me couldn't really get them to open up. So I love MBR. In fact, my doctor wrote into Joel about what I was doing in Miami, and Joel reached out, and I thought it was a joke. I said, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, didn't you write in? I said, no. And then we found out who it was who actually wrote in for me. And so I told him, well, I do already lives. I said, for people to help them. And I said, I'd be happy to get the word out to more military vets. So for me, MBR has been such a rehabilitation, revocation, not just for me, but for people who have a lot of guilt, shame, anxiety, fear that they don't want to put out in public. So behind the scenes in our emails or my texts or my DMs, they do reach back. And as Joel says, he goes, MJ, you're making a difference. He goes, that's a hard topic. He goes, none of us really want to talk. And I go, no, that's the biggest thing. Talking and like you're doing, I said, just creates an open. You have to speak it. You have to get it out in order for it to become just a beautiful, positive moment of time. So,
Amen. That's right. And that's, the same way with us, with this show, it's generally for anyone with any hurts, habits, or hangups, and I'll go through those 12-step programs that are very similar to Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, step programs. Of course, ours is that I try to do is a faith-based type step program. And it's so true to speak things out, to ask for forgiveness when it's appropriate or otherwise, make amends to people and things. And that's so important. I wanted to also recognize the I'm sorry, but Don is in the background. He's taking care of business and with one of his children. And but we thank Don for being here. He's titled The Good Servant, and look forward to hearing more of his programs and him being on MBR with other hosts. And we look forward to hearing that. We just had our buddy from the West Coast, right?
Yeah,
that's
Oregon.
correct.
Of course, the West Coast. Tell us a little bit, Farron. Farron, we're here today talking about military broadcast radio. It's our birthday this weekend, and I was kind of trying to surprise each of you guys as hosts, bringing you on here together. So, a meeting of the minds around Red's round table. I don't see anything round about this except maybe portions of my head. But that's right. But hey, my title today was The Mic is a Med, the online therapeutic prescription. Is that for real? Do you think that's legitimate to say that?
Definitely how I got to be here in front of you today, man, for sure.
Right on.
I mean, when I found internet radio in 2009, going into 2010, I was lost. And only because a friend of mine said, hey, you should go, because I was a huge sports fan back then. And so they were like, you should go do a sports show online or something. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, they're like Blog Talk or something. And literally that show kept me living into the future of that next episode, which kept me alive.
Wow. Okay. That right there.
That's powerful.
That's chilling type. That's chilling type stuff. And I agree wholeheartedly. Like I said, I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ. Okay. That's how I start my shows usually. I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ. I am celebrating my recoveries from alcoholism over 30 years. I'm celebrating some great gains and wins over anxiety, over depression, and so many other things that I can't perform. I'm not that guy that's anywhere close to 100% anymore where I can, serve the military, although I have. And I feel this is kind of a way that we can still be kind of in the mix with the blue suiters, the green suiters, kind of still be in the fight in a sense. The camaraderie we have, a lot of us as disabled veterans, as former military, as just veterans, and whether it's wartime or not, and just how hype I am on recommending this for other folks that are veterans that might have a feeling that they want to get on the air, whether it be as a podcast host, which you can completely learn how to do that. I've learned how to do it somewhat. Might not be the greatest, but I can do it, and I'm willing to press record, right? And we have the folks that are around like yourself since 2009, H-Train, that's been around since I believe even earlier in the 2000s, maybe 04, 05, I want to say. Plus, he's got a degree in broadcasting. I'm not sure what everybody else has, but we have the talent to teach each other and teach, we're all experts in some way or another with some type of talent, okay, with broadcasting, with speaking in public, or might be in holistic healing, it might be in, so many different areas. And by us bringing this together and sharing with each other, the camaraderie, and the support for one another, knowing that we're like-minded. Okay. We come from the same type thing, although we're human anyway, we come from the same type. There's no doubt about it. But we are in a position, Military Broadcast Radio, to give veterans a voice. And that's what the amazing thing is. And it's been so good for me, I believe, just by being, having to keep attention to something on a regular basis. And it's always about helping others. We're helping other folks while we help ourselves. We're not keeping secrets from other people. We're letting people know what's helped us. And I urge anybody that's out there and hears about Military Broadcast Radio, set up an appointment, email the station, and just learn more about it. Whether you want to be a podcast host yourself, or you'd like to be just seen on a show, or you'd like to honor somebody else. And there's ways to support Military Broadcast Radio. I thank everybody else that's out there on it. And you guys, what else we got, Tracer? I mean, well, Ferran, when's your next show? When does it air?
I want to point something out. It airs
Please.
on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay.
But one of the things that you're talking about for me is what was important, because when we talk about suicide awareness and suicide prevention and these kind of conversations, they say that like a fire that takes 3 elements. And those 3 elements are the degree of planning, the intensity of wanting to live or die, and the amount of distress that the person is in, right? And if you can interrupt one of those 3, you will not complete your life, right? You have to, not that you have to, but if you can interrupt one of those, and that's what, this internet radio did for me, interrupt one of those for me. Each time it was a different thing, right? Each time it was a different one of those 3 pieces, but I always was able to live into the future of that next episode and not wanna, thought about it, but not wanted to actually go through the process. And I had a level of mental toughness. I played basketball, I played sports. And so having a level of mental toughness already, I knew that there was something there, but how I was experiencing life at that moment was really different. And so I want our brothers and sisters to know that you do have that strength in you already. You just got to maybe find something or find someone that you can have confidence in that won't slander your name, and open up to that person and really share, because most of us are afraid to be judged, right? Already.
Right.
And when I went to God, like I asked the Holy Spirit, like, what is it beyond judgment? And I remember when I was in radio school, one of the promises that we made was not to slander a person's name, because you can interview someone, chop that interview up into different ways, and have that person sound like a total crook.
Yes.
The way that you edit that audio, right? And when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's serious. And so I always kind of had that in the background of making sure that I wasn't that kind of person that would edit up a show or change the way a person's context of how they said something, because slander is worse than being judged.
Right. Hey, I appreciate you saying all that. And that is well-versed. I mean, well-versed. And I'm guessing some of these other media folks that you might see on regular TV and stuff might have missed that message somewhere in there.
Yes, definitely. Yes,
yeah.
You can tell.
Sometimes you don't know
tell.
what to believe, and I'm just thankful that we're not in a situation like that. We're not throwing words in people's mouth. We are just simply telling the truth, trying to help each other as we help ourselves, and how we can grow together. And I'm amazed by it. Me and MJ, I believe. And Tracer has to be right there at the same time. And Amber, we're all right there around that 1 year mark.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
I guess 11 to 13 or 14 months anyway. And oh my gosh, the things that I have learned in the past year, the things that have reversed. They've reversed from a negative to a positive just from meeting you guys, you know, and that's just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And John Shine made a comment, only God will judge in the end. And that is so true. We're not to judge, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and only God will judge in the end. Anybody else? Tracy, you got anything you'd like to share real quick?
You know, I learn from all of you every day. We have so many great hosts, and we are serving so many different people. You know, like we each have our own lane, and we're all serving different demographics. So collectively, we're hitting a lot of different people, and we're really making a difference, in my opinion. You know, we've helped a lot of people over this past year. Like you said, I've learned a lot. Do I know everything about broadcasting and about internet radio? No, I do not. But we're all able to come together, and we're all able to share this platform, and we're all able to get our message out. And I think MBR is the conduit that all of us are using to do that. And I celebrate the fact that we get to do this. And I think it's an honor to get to talk to all the people we talk to. And like for Ron's point, you know, whenever I interview a guest, I always tell them up front, look, I'm not here with any agenda at all. You tell me what you want to tell me, and we'll talk about what you want to talk about. And if something makes you uncomfortable, you pivot, because we don't want to talk about anything that makes you uncomfortable and puts you in a bad position. So I'm not here for my own edification. I'm here for yours. I'm here to give you a platform and to give you a voice. And so that's what really military broadcast radio is. It's giving people a voice, not only us as hosts, but our guests.
Yeah.
Right. I like that. Eva?
Yeah, there was a huge takeaway that I had yesterday. There was one part that I gave to the audience because I was a panelist. That was the title of it was "Where's My Mic?" And you know, I shared that, you know, as not only as hosts, but you know, a lot of times our guests also were sharing, you know, particular vulnerability and being very authentic with what we're saying on the mic. But the other panelist that I was with, his name is Sarge. I think it's Manning is his last name, Sarge Manning. He's on LinkedIn. So shout out to him. But he said, I guess in his research, that there were 3 things that most of these podcasts or radio shows are going to be about. And it's probably something that we can probably even bring home for us. And it's inform, educate, and inspire. So we're even, you know, passing out some kind of information and you know, informing people about programs that are available, or educating them about, you know, a program, that how do they apply for something, what benefits do they have, and then inspire somebody, you know, for some kind of transformation that hopefully that they're making, so that they're not making an irreversible choice. That, you know, we're all here to help make sure that those numbers from 22 keep dropping and don't go the other way.
Absolutely.
Right. That's right. That's exactly right. And Amber.
Yeah, I just, as far as podcasts go and being a host, I try to bring stories that educate and inspire, but also, you know, I try to bring awareness to injustice and things like that. And I've been so thankful that MBR has given me that ability to do that. I've always done it as a, you know, from 7 years old, I can remember dealing with the police, and all the way up till now, you know, I feel like, well, I know God has prepared me throughout my whole life and the interactions that I've had. And it's like, now I have the ability to bring these stories out, and I just want to do justice to everybody. And I want people to live a better life, you know, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm just so thankful that MBR has allowed me to do that. And I just try to be a blessing.
Right. Okay. Exactly. MJ, anything else real quick on that, like that?
Therapeutic wise, anytime that you get to speak aloud it's healing the soul, and it's healing that trauma to release itself. And MBR, we have to remember that every single person who is a DJ on here or a visitor, they're speaking what we call their truths, right? So when we tell them, I always tell people, it might not be your truth, but it's my truth. So we have to remember we're real people. Every single one of us we lived our life in our own journey. And when we live our life in our own journey, my truth might not resonate with somebody else's truth, whether they haven't learned the life lesson or whether I haven't learned the life lesson that they're trauma, but they are all trauma patterns or life lessons. MBR, again, that voice to go out to the 90,000+ people who listen, good for you. And take what you need and leave the rest that you don't. And
that's right.
That's
right. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Turn the channel, scroll on if you know, I mean, and catch the next episode or the next show that's coming on. Look, I know you said we don't have an agenda and stuff like that. I got an agenda. Well, I'm going to share with you. I got a little agenda.
No, it's a strategy. You have a strategy to this.
Let me tell you my agenda. No,
you got one too?
No, listen. This show that I do, Freedom from Struggle, and it's not only for myself. I want it to be for everybody. Okay. And like I said, I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ. And my agenda, for one thing, is to share my faith, and to share my trust in Jesus Christ. And God sent his son to die on the cross to save me and you, everyone, from their sins, and all we have to do is really believe in him and have everlasting life. Now, there's things that go on with that, and I would like to think part of my show is somewhat of a ministry where I'm practicing, in a sense, that Great Commission type stuff, where I'm still trying to share it out there with other people, but also to do that in a pleasant way, a nice way. You can't force anything on somebody. You can carry a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And we know that, but I do want to know where I find my hope, where I find my rescue from all those demons that I've faced, and I say demons, I mean in the way of depression, anxiety, bad habits, bad thoughts, and this type of stuff. And I just want to share with people that there is hope, there is a light in the tunnel. You just have to search for it and you ask, and it's really a simple thing, although it can be so difficult to make that decision. And like Farhan was saying, you have to interrupt these other things. And when we got these other things, we got me, mine on our mind. Sometimes it's hard to forget about, hey, me's wanting to enjoy this. I'm wanting to do that. I want to experience this. I don't want to be left out, and sometimes it's really best to be left out in some things and be on a different path than some of your best friends are on, and to stay on that straight and narrow and not to get out in the briars, if you will. Look, let's have a word real quick again from our sponsor, and we're going to come right back and we'll be closing out the show. So y'all stay tuned, stay with us. Grab yourself a cup of water if you need to. Turn the volume up so you can hear the music while you walk away, but we'll be right back.
60 years went rolling by. It was here we said goodbye. The war was brewing, it was extreme. We were only teens. I knew the day I died, all alone, my brand new bride. Our favorite song would be a sign I'd be back in time. So raise a flag with pride and grace. I seen the pain on a soldier's face. Bring me home, both sides say I'm a soldier of the USA. You weren't alone all these years. Seen you cry, I know your tears. You raised our child and a family, all without me. You've done well with your life, lots of friends by your side. I heard a nightly secret prayer, I was always there. So raise our flag with pride and grace. I seen the pain on a soldier's face. Bring me home, both sides say, I'm a soldier of the USA. Now it's time, my lovely wife, to bring you home. Say goodnight. Close your eyes to our favorite song. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? One day we'll come back in time for those we leave behind. But for now, we'll watch them grow. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at MBRadio.us.
Speaking of MBRadio.us, happy birthday, Military Broadcast Radio. I have to say it one more time, y'all. Terry, Tracer Rounds, listen here. I want us to share real quick, as we can think of, can you name at least two other shows that's on MBR that we hadn't mentioned yet?
Redeemed, Healthy and Redeemed.
Okay.
And we have
Inside
the Whistle, Tell the Final Whistle.
Bourbon and Ball.
Bourbon and Ball,
Bourbon
yeah.
and Ball.
And
Dog Tag Diva.
Dog Tag Diva, absolutely. And Tony's show, Inside
Trucker's
Your
Mouth.
Mind.
Trucker's Mouth.
Yep.
Trucker Mouth, On the Road
We
with Trucker
mentioned that.
Mouth. Yep. We have
Man Talk.
Beyond the Headlines.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We have Tracer Rounds Podcast.
Yeah.
Lee.
We have Farron's show.
We have Lee, the veteran who reads the Bible.
The prayer.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Love
prayer.
Letters with Lee.
Love
What about
letters.
Zone Slayer and Gen X?
Yeah, Gen X Friends. Yep.
Man Talk.
Slinger is probably
What about
not here anymore.
the Stogies? Is that show still on?
Turnbuckles and Stogies. Yeah.
Yeah, Turnbuckles and Stogies still
It's
on
on Sunday
Sundays.
mornings, I think.
Yes, Sunday. Yep.
So my Freedom from Struggle show at 3. We got a show coming up right after this. Jose's going to be airing.
The Motivated
here in
Mindset.
11 minutes. And then we have Eva from Pain to Purpose. And then we have Amber with Into the Weeds.
Yep.
Yes.
We got a lineup tonight. Okay.
And we have
then,
Oscar Mike Radio. Don't forget about Oscar Mike
Oscar
on
Mike
Thursdays.
Radio.
Yeah.
Very, that's a popular show.
Yes.
And where can people find all this? Where can they find these shows?
Everywhere.
MBRadio.us.
That's right. On the app, on Roku, on Amazon Fire, on the website, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Twitch, on
YouTube.
And we got a gamer channel going on.
We do.
And hey, I don't know. And I have invited a couple DJs, but I guess they might have got the word late, because this was kind of like a surprise type thing. I was trying to surprise everybody, really. But and it worked a little bit. But we got our DJs that play the music on there, right?
Blade and Clado and Nick, I believe.
DJ Nick. Yep.
Okay.
DJ Zorn, I think.
Yeah, DJ Zorn, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I that's good stuff, and I know they do a lot of times. They do a kind of a theme to the music they're playing, right?
Clado pretty much does
Clado
that.
does that.
Yeah,
because
his birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, Clado!
Right
Happy
there with the
birthday.
Military Broadcast Radio and Clado celebrating
Right?
the birthday together. I should
And
have had
he's
a
an
cake.
OG on the music side. He's been here a long time.
Okay, all right, good deal. All right, well, look, we've got a lot of good things. There's Mississippi Pie Thunder got it. Friend of mine, lifetime friend from here in Meridian. He just popped in and said, hello, buddy. Y'all, listen, I'll just tell you this real quick. Wednesday night, I believe it was, right here in Meridian, Mississippi. I don't know if anybody watches the American Idol, but there's this guy named Jamal. And I know they have a lot of talented individuals on there. But this gentleman named Jamal, he's from Meridian, Mississippi, and he's an educator, okay? He works in the schools, probably mid-30s, I believe. But that joker can sing. He has some talent, and if y'all get a chance, you ought to check out American Idol and check him out. What's H Train says? Nick Bernice, what's that?
That's our DJ Nick.
Oh, DJ Nick, okay. I can't even say all that. Nick Bernice Pizzagoni. How's that for Meridian speech? Southernese. I speak Southernese, y'all. Give me a break, okay? Hey, But anyway, listen, I want to thank everybody again for being here. Let's take about a minute apiece. Tracy, you got anything else you need to share with everybody?
If you're wanting to join a podcast or be on a podcast or host a podcast or do music, reach out, because we're always looking for new talent, new veterans to highlight, and just new people to add to our platform. So we're happy to have you.
Absolutely. And everybody be welcomed with open arms, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
MJ, what you got? Invite, what you got?
So, MBR is a stepping stone, and there has been a lot of really, really good DJs who got picked up for stations or other things. So this truly is a beautiful stepping stone, and figure out, is it truly something that you want? Is it truly something that you can get your message across? So I can't sit here and know that there are people who absolutely went through this, and they're on their way into a rehabilitation. And the ones that reach out, we have some sports people who left. We have Grizz, we have Matt, Goose. These people all went on their own beyond. So remember, just because you're here and you don't know anything about it doesn't mean that you have a life purpose, soul purpose. It could be a change for you.
That's right. Hey, and let's mention that. Let's hear from our guy down here, the other guy that's on the podcast with me today.
What's happening?
You've been in this for quite a while, I know, and you're not only on Military Broadcast Radio. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Let's hear it.
I have a show on AM/FM radio Sunday nights at 8 p.m. on KCA radio. It's the Ferran Dozier Show, just another edition that I've been doing since 2021 over there. But I've been on a bunch of different networks over time. And I came on an interview randomly over here in 2021 and fell in love with the conversation, fell in love with H. And they invited me to do a show back then, but I had so many other shows that I didn't even know how to do another episode, because I had my military show on hold, kind of. And so when there was a military network here, again, God aligns everything, because my sickle cell trait advocacy work, Denver is one of the worst places a person with sickle cell trait could live because of the altitude. And so just connecting all those different dots, after a couple of years, I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and see what they're talking about over there. So I brought my military show, Trench Talk, here in 2024, and just had a blast, and just truly blessed to, again, for me, it's therapy, because I was taught that as a soldier, civilians don't understand us, right? And they drilled that into us and basic training, and just through my whole career. And coming out of the military back into this civilian lifestyle, I wanted to create a space of relatedness. And even us as veterans, we forget that we were people first.
Right.
And so sometimes that human connection, how we talk, how we objectify and label one another, it really disconnects us from the experiences. And when I saw my life in other people in 2011, I knew that we're not different. And so that's really what I do, is have that relatedness conversation with people.
I appreciate that. That's good stuff. Amber, real quick, we're going to have to sign off here in just a couple minutes, but you got something else you'd like to announce or to let everybody know about, you know?
No, I would just encourage everybody who is listening, who's a veteran or first responder, who can actually come on board MBR. You know, if you have been sitting there watching podcasts or YouTube videos for years and you think, man, I could do that, or I've had an interesting life and I can share my life, go ahead and do it. You know, I mean, we're here to help you succeed. And so just please reach out to us because it will change your life for the better, I believe.
Right. And we do have, and just saying that, I know we have faceless shows where it's just the voice, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you just see the screen, but where it can be listened to or viewed either way, whether it's on a laptop or cell phones or even just on a, just via like radio type voice only. And which that's pretty cool because some people don't want to get in front of a camera. So you don't necessarily have to get in front of the camera. And but it's nice to see faces. There's no doubt about that. But I encourage folks to jump in and be a part. MJ, would you want to say one other thing?
I did. I just really want to thank every single artist who supplies us with their music for people to hear their story and to resonate with that.
That is so true too. And if you want your music played on Military Broadcast Radio, you can also reach out if you want to, provide some of your music and entertainment that we can entertain people with. And I believe with that's most everything that I was really could have wished for today on a show to help promote each other's shows, to promote Military Broadcast Radio, to let people know they're invited to join us, whether as an actual host or a DJ or just being a guest on a show, and ways that people can provide support. And that on providing support, Military Broadcast Radio it does need some financial support. And I just want to urge people, if you're in that position, whether it be $10 a month, whether it be whatever, or a real nice sponsorship, think about supporting Military Broadcast Radio and our mission that we have here. It is legitimate. It is for real. And it touches individuals inside their minds and in their hearts. And hopefully we also reach out to families of military members and veterans, families that may have lost loved ones or just, may just have that patriotic little touch inside their heart and soul that they want to be part of it. Look, we really do have to sign off. We got another show coming on immediately following us. But hey, Military Broadcast Radio is not about making money. It's about giving veterans a voice. And one more time, everybody, while we're here, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And our forces.
Thank you, Joel.
And thank you, H, and people like Ron, just for sharing y'all's knowledge with us, and Terry, MJ, Amber, Eva, for everybody's talents that are shared. Y'all have a good day. Stay tuned. Don't leave Military Broadcast Radio. We have
I'm almost done.
Hours of shows coming up right after this.
Have a blessed day.
Y'all have a blessed day.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.